Why are relationships so hard? Why do you sometimes feel like love is slipping through your fingers? Maybe your partner's words don't match their actions. Maybe the unspoken tension between you feels like an invisible wall. If fear, unspoken expectations, or a lack of communication are wreaking havoc on your romantic relationship, guess what? You're not alone. These silent saboteurs can destroy connection and intimacy. But they don't have to. Stick around, because in today's video, we're uncovering how to break free from such patterns and how to build a relationship that is rooted in trust, understanding, and authentic love. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mur Windtalker. I'm a spiritual life coach, yoga teacher, and energy medicine facilitator. Today, we're diving deep into the complexities of romantic relationships and exploring how fear, lack of communication, and unmet expectations can create distance between partners. These challenges are more common than you might think, but the good news is they're also entirely solvable. My intention is that by the end of this video, you'll have action-oriented tools that you can use to transform your relationships and rediscover the love you always wanted and deserve. So let's get started. Fear, lack of communication, and unmet expectations. These are the silent forces that can erode even the strongest bonds. Let's break them down. Number 1, fear. Fear often shows up as insecurity, the fear of abandonment, rejection, or not being good enough. This fear can make us cling to our partner or withdraw entirely, both of which will harm the intimacy. You've heard me quote Yoda before, and in this specific situation it bears repeating. Fear is the path of the dark side. You see, fear leads to anger, mistrust, and eventually disconnection. Recognizing your fears is the first step to overcoming them. In the Windtalker method, we often say, love and fear cannot coexist in the same space. Number 2, lack of communication. Many couples struggle to express their needs and feelings openly, and usually this is linked to either issues of fear or trust or both. And this naturally then goes ahead to lead to misunderstandings and eventually resentment. Clear, compassionate communication is the lifeblood of any healthy relationship. We shouldn't assume and expect our partners to simply telepathically know and understand and automatically agree with what's in our mind. And this actually leads me to my third point. Number 3, unspoken expectations. When we expect our partners to read our minds, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Unverbalized expectations often lead to the experience of unmet needs and wants, which inevitably bring us to feelings of being unappreciated, unseen, or even unloved. Releasing such expectations is key to emotional freedom. If you haven't done so already, please check out my video on the pain of unmet expectations. Link for that video in the description box below. Fear can make us act in ways that don't align with our true selves, and this manifests in different ways for different folks. For example, one might become overly controlling or even possessive. Please watch my video on love and freedom, the link for which is also available in the description box below. Another example could be one would withdraw emotionally to protect themselves from the potential of perceived hurt. Or maybe one would avoid difficult conversations altogether just to keep the peace. This last one rings very loudly for me as I've seen it happen quite a lot. But here's the truth. Avoiding fear doesn't make the situation go away. On the other hand, facing it head on generates an environment for growth, both individually and as a couple, throuple, quad, etc. Brené Brown reminds us that vulnerability is the key to authentic connection. When we share our fears and insecurities openly, we pave the way for deeper intimacy. From a yogic chakra perspective, Vishuddha chakra, the energetic center at the throat, is associated with communication. This chakra teaches us that communication is a two-way path, speaking and listening. A clear chakra is an effective chakra, and effective communication starts with these 3 bits. Number 1, clarity in your communication. Be clear about your needs, feelings, and boundaries. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when we talk about important topics." Can you see how different those 2 statements sound? Number 2, listening. True listening isn't just about waiting for your turn to speak. It's about being fully present and seeking to understand your partner's perspective, the thing that they are trying to communicate to you. Number 3, compassion. Remember that the person you are communicating with is actually someone you care about. Approach conversations with gentleness and empathy, focusing on a genuine desire to resolve issues, rather than assigning blame, guilt, or shame. When communication is open and honest, it becomes the bridge that connects you and your partner, especially during challenging times. The sad reality and hard truth is, expectations can silently destroy relationships. We often project our own desires onto our partners without clearly communicating them. This naturally creates a cycle of unmet needs, which lead to the perception of not being seen, which then leads to feelings of resentment. Dark topic, I know, but here's how to break that vicious cycle. Number 1, reflect. Ask yourself, what am I expecting from my partner that I haven't communicated? Write it down if needed. Number 2, communicate. Share these expectations in a way that invites collaboration instead of confrontation. For example, it would mean a lot to me if we could spend more quality time together. This sounds way different from saying something like, "How come we don't spend quality time together anymore?" See the difference? Number 3, release. This one can be a little tricky and maybe even activating for some. Practice letting go of the belief that your partner must meet all of your needs. Remember, they too have the right of self-sovereignty, and that they too are free to choose and free to change their minds. Instead of the belief that they must meet all of your needs, try focusing on mutual understanding and compromise. If this message speaks to you and you're ready to take the next step towards healing and strengthening your relationships, I warmly invite you to visit my website at windtalkermethod.com. There you'll find personalized sessions through the Windtalker method, thoughtfully designed to help you identify and overcome emotional blocks and reconnect with your authentic self. If you're curious about exploring relationship coaching with a unique spiritual twist, I'd be honored to support you on that journey as well. I offer both individual and couples coaching, and you can find more info about those offerings on the website. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to stay updated on future content about relationships, personal growth, and emotional intelligence. And if you know someone who you think might benefit from this message, please share this video with them. Romantic relationships are both a gift and a mirror, reflecting our fears, hopes, and capacity for love. By addressing fear, improving communication, and releasing unmet expectations, you can transform your relationship into one that is rooted in trust, freedom, and authenticity. Remember, love grows when fear is released. They cannot occupy the same space at the same time. So choose love. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Blessed be.